thatmovieguyUK.
Well, hello. On this channel, I never really thought I would ever be talking about a new Orson Welles film. Obviously, the master filmmaker has been deceased for quite some time, and The Other Side of the Wind was one of his unfinished projects, with hundreds of hours of footage. Peter Bogdanovich was actually given the duty to finish Welles' final film, and eventually Netflix acquired it. For me, I was on the bench on this one. I never really thought this is a good idea, but from the same time, you have to think, as a cinephile, you have to admire and respect what is actually going to happen. And I was honoured and privileged to see this on the big screen because most of the world will see it on their TVs. And no new Welles film should be seen on a TV, I think. The Other Side of the Wind is a film within a film, and it follows the 70th birthday of famous film director Jake Hanford, played by John Huston, aka playing Orson Welles, and he is having a lot of issues with finishing his new film and trying to break into the new Hollywood fame and basically reigniting his career. He is creating a very psychedelic and crazy film called The Other Side of the Wind, and he has a party on his 70th birthday where he invites everybody over and shows footage of the film. The film just follows the pathway of this story and how everybody is around him, and eventually it leads to his death, and that is The Other Side of the Wind. With The Other Side of the Wind, I preferred the film within the film. I honestly think that the actual Other Side of the Wind story is a lot more interesting than the actual movie. I thought it was avant-garde, it was psychedelic, it was neon brilliance. I really wanted to see more of it, and it was really interesting just to see how this film was actually made. I can tell you Welles was a very experimental filmmaker towards the back end. F is for Fake is a great example of his work in his latter career. And I just feel like that The Other Side of the Wind was a bit of a bad testament to what he accomplished within his career. Again, this doesn't break the nuance or the brilliance of Welles, but I just don't really like The Other Side of the Wind that much. The major issue for me was its snappy editing and muddled story. I understand that Welles was experimenting with this film, and I totally can see that, but I think that the dialogue is just very heavy. It doesn't really have much context. I just feel like they were just blurting out these thespianish speeches, and I just felt like it wasn't achieving anything. You just go through this party and it is very snappy editing, and this snappy editing gave me a headache, and I am not the only person that's saying this. It just goes very fast. You don't really know what imagery you're looking at. Sometimes it's very muddled. I understand that this is following the notes that Welles actually wrote for the film, and Bogdanovich is literally just following what Welles said in the process of editing the final cut of the film. That's fine, I understand, and I respect that, but it just doesn't have that kinetic flow that the film actually needed. There's some really good scenes at the party for Hannaford, and I really like the way that we move around. We are going from a conversation to a different conversation. It can be very philosophical, it can be very interesting, it's very intelligent dialogue sometimes, but sometimes it is just pure garbage of talk, and it just annoyed the hell out of me. I just didn't really know where we were going with the story. Once we were going back into The Other Side of the Wind, the film within the film, I just really preferred it a lot more. As for the acting, Oja Kodar, who was Welles' partner at the back end of his life, and she actually co-wrote F is for Fake and The Other Side of the Wind. She plays the actress that is in the film within the film. She doesn't say anything in this film, but it's an amazing stare she has. She really does actually carry a lot on her shoulders within her performance, and I think it's a very strong performance. But for me, I loved John Huston playing, well, basically Orson Welles. Hannaford doesn't count. He played Orson Welles to a T. And I could have listened to him talk and talk all day. It's just that raspy, old smoking and drinking voice. I just loved it. I could have just, I know, like I said, I know I'm contradicting myself, but the garbage he was saying was actually quite therapeutic compared to the rest of them. So, The Other Side of the Wind, privilege. It was a privilege, an honour to see it in the cinema. I have forgotten a lot about this film, I must say, but the snappy editing really just broke it for me, and the very heavy, stupid dialogue that was within it. I would recommend anybody watching F is for Fake before watching The Other Side of the Wind if you just want to get into that mind frame of like what he actually made with this film. Obviously my written review is on moviemarker.co.uk and all my information is below, so I would appreciate if you checked anything out. It'd be great. Hi to all my new subscribers and hello to my old subscribers. Thank you for the comments, likes, shares, everything. Greatly appreciated. And obviously, as we say on the channel, Diolch, obrigado, merci beaucoup, arigato, dankeschön, bitteschön, all the shins, and obviously, never change.